if you ever have to take two string values and then make it one entire string value, you're going to want to use the build string action. To grab the build string action, simply search for build string. In the action pane, take the action and drag it over. Now, if we look at this workflow already on the designer canvas, I have two set variable actions. And what I want to do is be able to take this first variable and this second variable here and compose two of those variables together and store it in one variable itself. So instead of having to concatenate it in an email, I just want to reference this one variable going forward. So just a quick overview, I took the set variable action where I had created a variable already called txt first word. I created a second one for txt second word, and then I created a string or text variable to store the result. And so I set the txt first word variable to a value of hello, and then in the second variable option, I chose the second text variable to be world. So you may have seen this before in other learning opportunities, but what I want to do is make that entirely one string. So I'll use the build string action and I'll open it up, and what I want to do then is add in some references. So I want to add in the workflow variables I've created. Now, if I click on that reference box, I've got options for common variables to use, such as current date, time, approver comments, a whole host of different items. Item properties, such as the metadata already included in the list. If I've built out workflow constants, I can use that too, and we can talk about that in another video. And then I've got inline functions for working with the data itself, but then I've got workflow variables, and so these are the variables in which I've already populated data in, and this is how I would access them. So what I want to do is first word, and then I want to space, and then I'll do second word, and then I'll put an exclamation point at the end. And I'll click OK. And so what that does is that gives us hello and world, but as you can see, it doesn't say that. What it does is it references the variables themselves that I've already created. Now, what I need to do is I need to store this entirely created sentence or phrase or whatever I've created here in another variable. And to do that, I will choose the store result in and text result variable. So this is a text or single line of text type variable in which I'm collecting data. Now, you'll see another option over here for parse for tokens twice, and what this means is if I'm collecting values and maybe it's stored within XML and I need to go and query for tokens within the outer tokens in the XML nodes, this will go and not only parse through the first but parse through the second level of nodes that we've collected in whatever reference we're making here for the original text, and then store those results back for us. And if you ever want to test it out, use run now, and it won't work right now for us. And yet you'll see it right now. What we need to do is actually run the workflow itself and actually have real values be populated, because we're not storing those values in here for the first or second word, because the workflow actually has to go and set those variables for us. Then it would say that. And that we know by actually just testing out the workflow itself. But if you ever have to go and run these actions now, maybe grabbing values elsewhere, this will allow you to go and test out what that's going to look like. So you just click on save, and there you go. You have now built out a custom string based on other values you've collected within your workflow.